Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Pete and Jeremy's D&D time. This is game 2 this evening, a legendary adventure that I've entitled Grandarf and Mortimer. And let's just dive right in. You for our legendary heroes in Bartholomew's Adventuring Company. Just last week, the company was able to defeat the Boogity Beholder, a terrible entity of dreams and nightmares that was trapping Bartholomew and many of actually yourselves and your other fellow adventurers in a dreamlike prison that mimicked reality. Now that you're all free, the lands of DnDTime below are a kind of dark and twisted place that must be rescued from a series of terrible evils. But before that, Bartholomew has some things that he needs to get addressed. And so the four of you have been selected by Bartholomew for what he seemed to imply was a very, very important mission. He is a friend of his by the name of Grandarf, who apparently is an elderly wizard similar to Bartholomew, an old colleague of his, that is somewhere on the lands of DnDTime below. And Bartholomew wanted you to go in and go down and check in on her to make sure she was okay. And so as our adventure begins, the four of you stand on not the streets of Central City itself, but kind of the outskirts, kind of the suburbs of Central City. This is a place that isn't crawling with morts being one of the great evils that now plague this land, which are a bunch of middle-aged men that all look identical, and they're kind of a crime syndicate. But this place isn't crawling with them like the rest of Central City. In fact, it's almost more of a ruinous wasteland, right? You see what used to be small homes that are just kind of burnt out or boarded up and abandoned. There are carts just kind of left in like driveways. Some of them crashed into like the equivalent of messaging poles where people could, send messages via the message cantrip over long distances. All sorts of just disaster. It looks kind of the medieval equivalent of like a post-apocalyptic waste. Bartholomew's teleported you down to here. You stand outside the ruins of a tavern, which presumably Bartholomew once frequented, since he's able to teleport here with ease. You were told to head to a road. It's 14 Kitten Ave, where apparently that's where this Grandarf wizard lives. What do you all do as you stand in this kind of burnt out suburb? It's raining.
I believe we should enter the tavern.
All right, yeah. Herald, you kind of turn around and open up the door, and you've just teleported here. You don't see anyone around currently, but again, Bartholomew told you this place shouldn't be too infested with morts. The door is like jammed a little bit, but with a bit of force, you're able to push it open, and you can see inside a dusty old tavern. There's a bunch of high-top stools around a bar that's kind of in the central and the kind of right center side of the tavern. On the left side, there's a big, large room with like a pool table. One of the legs is broken off though, and it's kind of teetering. Balls are scattered all over. Pool balls are scattered all over the floor, and all the tables are just heavy set with dust.
Mm.
Do you want to go and start digging around?
I suppose that would be wise.
Sure. Grilliam, you were saying something?
I was just gonna say, that this place is so decrepit. I kind of wish it was still like the illusion of the old days.
Yes, and Grilliam, you're familiar with this. This was the Last Hope Tavern in the Illusion. It's a place where many of Bartholomew's adventurers, before they got keeps or anything of particular import, would stay. They'd rest at Bartholomew's expense. Drinks were free, the staff were friendly, and there weren't too many crazy, Bartholomew's Adventuring fans that would arrive. But every so often you'd get those folks winding away in, which kind of felt a little good.
I do have an idea, though.
Mm-hmm.
Since I used to have frequented this place. I wonder if I could remember if there was anything of importance in this tavern, now that it's all decrepit.
Yeah, I don't know. What kind of thing are you thinking of?
A history check.
Okay, sure. You can go ahead and roll me a history check.
See if he remembers anything of importance in the tavern that might still be around.
While you're doing that, Granny's going to command her stitch servants to fix the place up.
Oh, excellent. So, Granny, are you knitting them, and then they just kind of like hop down and like look up at you and go clean it, or are you pulling them out of your bag, or where are these servants coming from?
Well, I imagine like she already has like a small army just following her, but like, yeah, she'll be knitting more as like just sitting in the corner knitting more as need be.
I love it.
So
you've just found a comfortable little chair, and you're knitting, and your servants are going around. And I imagine because they're knit themselves, they actually pick up dust really well. So you see them like rolling around on tables and stuff.
Yep.
You see one of them is just like lying on the. A couple of them are probably lying on the ground, and the other ones are like pushing them like a mop.
That is a unique way to clean the place. That I will give you that.
Yeah, I think, and actually, Grilliam is
for a reason.
What was that? What was that?
It was like they have mop tops for hairdos.
Yep.
Exactly. And I think, Grilliam, with your 11, you walk up to the counter, and you can see that beyond it, right, there's actually still a well-stocked inventory of drinks here. As it always was well-stocked. Something must have kept the Morts from ransacking this place. Maybe Bartholomew's magic. Who really knows? But yeah, I think you see one of the stitch servants has put like a glass on top of their head, and they're just spinning it around, cleaning the inside. But yeah, there's nothing of particular interest. Actually, you do see at the far end of the bar area, there's one stool that is a little different than the others. It's a little bit better built. It has like skulls on the floor for like the feet of it, and it's got a brass plate on the back, which is labeled Switch. And you realize this must be Switch's chair.
I see. Something still remained.
Remarkably not dusty, though. It's almost like it's magically protected.
I believe I should check the back room.
Yeah, you check the back area here, and the back room of Bartholomew's shop is a very mystical, fantastical place. But the back room of this tavern is really not. There's a small kitchen. There's a bunch of cutlery and pots and pans hanging up on hooks. There is like a freezer room, but you can see that door is all iced over and it's just frozen shut.
I know how I could fix that problem.
Maybe, I don't know.
I do, actually.
Wait. Herald face palms and realizes that, oh hey, this person might be invisible, and quietly calls out, Grandarf, we are here to retrieve you at the request of your friend Bartholomew.
Just to clarify, Herald, this is not where you were told to find Grandarf. This was just the place Bartholomew teleported you originally.
Oh, I thought this. Oh.
No, it's just nearby to where Grandarf's house is. It's just everyone seemed interested in going in here, so you're just exploring it.
I'm gonna cast a cantrip on the frozen door to make it unfrozen.
All right, so Herald, you see Grilliam, which Grilliam, you're a fire ganassi, so you're literally a fire person. You walk in and you just produce flame upon the door. Yeah, you do that, and the ice starts to like kind of crack and melt a little bit. And you think if you really wanted, you could open up the freezer room.
I guess the ice is much stronger than I anticipated. Even then, there's probably nothing in here that I want.
No, probably not. In fact, I think that, that's where they keep, like, the meats for, like, the lizard folk.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that meat is all but rotten.
Well,
Very
I don't know. It's probably still cold. Just needs to
I
be
know,
heated
but
up.
but how long has it been since the illusion?
Well, speaking of
Not
how long
long.
it's been,
When does it ever stop somebody like Crixus?
Fair point. But you were saying, Jeremy?
I was saying, Grilliam, speaking of how long, as you walk back out of the back area where you had seen the freezer door with Herald, you see that the main room, like the actual tavern room, is like almost completely clean of dust already.
Well, the
see-
renovation's nice, going well. I see. I joke.
You see one of the windows is open, and one of the Stitch servants is like, actually a couple of them are like holding on to the other ones and just shaking them out, and they're like flailing around as the dust is blowing off of them outside. And then just tucking them back in the room to clean some more.
Oh, that reminds me. Doesn't this place have a cellar? I'll start walking around behind the bar, seeing if I can tapping my foot to see if I can find the cellar door.
Yeah, I think you find like it's under a mat right behind the counter of the tavern, or the actual bar. There is a trap door that would lead down to like a wine cellar. And opening it up and climbing down, which I'm going to presume you do unless you tell me otherwise. Yeah, it's just got racks of wine. And probably other, fine liquors that need to be kept cold. Or chilled.
Recommend.
In other words, Grilliam shouldn't go into the
location.
Probably shouldn't go into the freezer.
Wait, where should I go into?
It probably shouldn't go into the
basement. With all the wine, because you are literally made of fire.
all of the alcohol.
Fair enough. Let's not ruin this lovely refurbishment of this place. Besides, this could be a nice start to a new era.
Well, a nice little outpost. One thing, actually, Grilliam, I think you do know with that 11. This place has multiple floors, and those upper floors, which are for like there were basically little apartments are for people to stay. Those are extra dimensional spaces. They are way bigger on the inside than they look from the outside.
I see.
Yeah, on like the second, it's got probably 4 floors of rooms. But
So
yeah, it seems like it's been abandoned at this point.
Yeah, well, I don't want to waste our time
we should
dawdling
probably
here.
we should probably start looking for Bartholomew's friend, Grandarf.
Yes, indeed. As he says that, he walks up the door and gets on top of his flaming horse.
Well, Grilliam, I think like you haven't seen your flaming horse yet.
Really?
You've just come out of the illusion, right? You were brought up to the moon base with Bartholomew.
Wait, moon base?
Oh goodness. Well,
Yeah, you don't know about
there is a base on the moon.
It's where we woke up.
Well, no, not quite.
Wait.
You guys appeared in the land of DnDTime wherever you were.
Okay.
It's complicated. Don't worry too much about it, Purple. Don't worry too much about it, Harold, at the moment. But yeah, Grilliam, I don't think you've seen your horse yet. Because, yeah. But you kind of do your whistle or whatever you do to call your horse. And you can see that almost materializing out of the ethereal plane is Shatterblades. But something seems a little different about them. They're much taller than you remember them. Like maybe they've grown up a little bit.
Ah, there's my wonderful horse. And I go to pet them.
Shutterblade, of course, has an like onyx black skin with veins like fire and a brilliant mane of flame. They are a nightmare steed, a literal nightmare.
What? What?
Yep.
How did you get that?
Long story. Let's just say one carnival of souls went terribly wrong, but for me it went terribly right.
Actually, kind of similarly to how you got your staff of eyes. But
Continue.
yeah, all right. So you kind of head outside, leaving the tavern be. Granny, are you gonna leave your servants here to like patch the place up and kind of make it like almost a little fortification here?
Yeah. clean
Okay.
up the tavern.
Excellent. So some of the servants, I mean, you see them like waving goodbye from like out the windows on the upper floors as they get to cleaning the place up. Of course, you still have plenty of servants with you, but
Yeah.
yeah, the group of you kind of gather around. Shatterblaze seems like very happy to see you, Grilliam. Like they haven't seen you in a very long time, and yeah, they are much larger than you remember. Now a fully developed nightmare. But
Interesting.
as you kind of walk the streets here of Central City through the rundown kind of homes and shops and buildings, you come to the street that should house Grandarf's little home. And as you're kind of walking down the road, the pavement, or I guess it's not pavement, it's cobblestones. The cobblestones are like all dislodged, and some of them are broken, and a couple places have been reduced to like just gravel or sunken into mud. You see something that is really out of place. You see a perfect white picket fence with little shrubs, which look like berries growing on them. You see a lovely path leading up to a door, a chimney on the side of this little cottage. The chimney is, of course, perfectly maintained and billowing out a little bit of smoke, like a small fire is going from the inside. And you see just like a perfect little house, perfect little cottage amidst all of the just ruined suburb. Has perfectly trimmed green grass. And this is Grandarf's house. This is the address that you were told to head to.
Interesting.
I shall approach cautiously.
Okay. Herald, so are you like sneaking up to like into the bushes to like peer in a window? Are you walking up to the door but like keeping your wits about yourself?
Yeah, like the second
Gotcha.
one.
Excellent. Can you roll me a perception check?
I'm very good at that.
Oh, all right. 25 critical perception check. Yeah, you walk up to the door of the house kind of cautiously, and I imagine everyone's kind of creeping up with you, and you're keeping an ear open, and I assume you're planning on knocking.
I
Yes.
assume so.
Yeah, and you hear voices from inside the house. One of them sounds like an older, kind of feminine voice, a much older feminine voice. And the other sounds deeper and somewhat kind of gruffer and very masculine. Yeah, it's just the older female voice saying, "Oh, well, how about you just clean out those gutters for me? They're just so clogged up from all the rain." And you just hear the other voice, "Oh, yeah, no problem." And you just kind of hear this kind of, this discourse, anything for you, Grandarf. There seems to be people having this conversation as you arrive.
Harold knocks on the door and then steps back.
You
I
hear.
hope the door doesn't have any magical defenses.
Yeah, there's no defenses. Nothing happens. There's a little welcome mat that says "welcome." It looks very friendly and homely. The door is like fairly small, even for like a normal human door. It's probably like 6 feet tall. So you might have to crouch to actually get in here. But you knock, and you just hear the voice, the female voice. "Oh, just a moment." And you say, "Oh, don't worry. I'll check on it for you." And you hear some kind of heavy set footsteps, and the door opens, and you can see on the other side, there's like a lovely little living room. There's all sorts of there's carpets on the ground. There's a very nice old couches. Looks like maybe a little musty in here. Some paintings on the wall. A table for tea. It's a very lovely, homely. It looks like the kind of place that like a very lovely, happy grandmother would live. But you see this kind of overweight, middle-aged dude. He's balding. He's wearing a white tank top that's just stained with God knows what. He kind of smells a little like stale beer. and he's wearing kind of jorts that, although he's facing you, it's fine, but you bet there's some crack exposed if he turned away. They're just hanging down a little too much in the rear. And the guy opens the door and says, "Oh, hey, what are you? Who the hell are you?"
Oh, hello. We're here on the behest of an old friend of Grandarf's. Is she home?
No, no one's home. And you hear in the background, "Oh, who is it? Who's there?" And you hear this tiny little footsteps and what sounds like a cane kind of on the ground as someone's like coming down a hallway deeper into the house. "Oh, don't worry, it's just telemarketers. I'll send them away." And door-to-door salesman.
Oh, Grandarf.
I do not think Grandarf would like to see their old friend Bartholomew.
Yeah, no, get out. And he goes to close the door, but as he does, you all hear this meow, and he kind of looks down. "Oh shit!" And you see there's a cat that has gone and just sat down in between the door frame and the door, and is looking up at you. Meow.
Oh, hello,
And-
kitty. Granny says that she goes down to pet the cat.
Yeah, the cat like begins to purr and nuzzles you, and you can see a couple other cats like running toward you from like inside the house, like 5 or 6 more cats, and they're all like meow, 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 and they're all very like, and they're all different colors, and one of them's like very fat, like their stomach is like dragging on the ground, like meow, meow, running towards the door, big furry tabby.
There's always one. There's always a fat cat.
There's always one.
Yeah.
Well, it's the one that eats the other cat's food, right? When they're all done with it. And he's like, "Well, I guess I'll eat it." But yeah, this like armada of cats starts to appear. And you see the dude just go, "Oh, crap." "Yeah, just a second, Grandarf. I just want to make sure these guys are safe." "All right, who the hell are you? How did you find this place?"
I'm
like I said.
Serialmassacre. I'm an old friend of Grandarf's. These kind of vendors just help me make sure to get to this place. You know, can't be too careful these days.
You see one of your stitched servants is on the ground and is like trying to pet one of the cats, but the cat's looking at it with like murder eyes. And you see the it's like the stitched servant is like a little doll thing, so it can't really express emotion too much, but you see in those black pupilless eyes of this doll terror before the cat pounces on it.
And it's an expressionless face with only like 2 little black dots. There's
Exactly.
It's like,
And
Oh no.
he goes, "All right."
it's fine. I'll have the stitch servants enter my bag.
They clamber in. One of them gets taken away by one of the cats. Like it's just carried away, reaching out for you, but they disappear into the house. And Mort looks at you all just, "All right, yeah, no, you can come in. Please make yourself at home. I'm Mort, by the way."
Oh,
and-
hello, Mort.
He
You
opens the
look
door.
familiar. Have we met before?
Nah, I don't think so.
You know, I must have met one of your brothers.
Yep, that's got to be it. Got quite a few brothers. Please, yeah. And as he kind of opens the door all the way and gestures for you to come in and, you know, have a seat. There's like a nice rocking chair in here. It looks like it's hand carved from like mahogany. And the whole place just kind of smells a little bit like spices and maybe like a little like candles. Like so many different candles that all the smells kind of blend together a little bit. But they aren't all lit, of course.
I do not have a sense of smell.
Then I don't know.
Well, if there's any unlit, Grilliam will happily light them if Grandarf is okay with it.
Yeah, so Grilliam, you come in and like hold out a hand and light one of the candles that's on maybe the coffee table, and it just feels so warm and homely in here. Like despite the rain coming down outside, the nice roaring fire in this room really gives it a sense of warmth. And you can see the dude kind of like pulls up his jorts a little bit, and he looks really uncomfortable. with you all coming in, and then you see a very old-looking woman. She has gray hair that's all kind of brought up into a big bun on the top of her head, or on the kind of back of her head. She has a simple wooden cane and a big leather purse that kind of swings over her shoulder, and some very, very large and thick circular spectacles.
As big as Granny's purse?
No, it's not quite as big as Granny's. You know, it's probably. I think.
Purse.
Granny, question about your purse. Let's get some purse details here. What does Granny's purse look like? Is it a chonkin purse, or is it more subtle, but it just has more depth?
Granny purse is like a big chunkin purse. Like,
it's a big chunkin purse? Then yes, Granny's purse is definitely bigger than Grandarf's. But Grandarf walks in. Oh, why hello everyone. It's lovely to have guests. I haven't had visitors in so long. Oh, please, everyone, to help yourself, sit down. Would anyone like some tea or biscuits?
I would love some tea, thank you.
Oh, Grandarf, it is lovely to see you again, and I would love some.
Is this young man your grandson?
Oh, Mortimer? No, Mortimer's my neighbor. He's been such a good help. Helped me clean all around the house. He's such a good boy. She says, going and like squeezing his cheek, and just goes, "Ow, yep, that's me. I'm a good boy." Yep. And Grandarf goes to like sit down in one of the rocking chairs. Says, "Mortimer, could you go get some of the tea? Start the tea and go get some biscuits in the oven." He goes, yeah, sure. Yeah, I'll be right back." He's just kind of walking like out of the room into into a hallway in the back area. And Grandarf looks toward you immediately, Herald. Oh, and she kind of like adjusts her glasses. Are you another tree person? I had a tree person visit me once. They were so kind.
Not exactly.
Kind of
I
adjusts
am
her
made
glasses.
of wood, so I am not a tree.
Oh, that's exciting.
I
I'm
sure hope-
Grandarf. It's a pleasure to. Well, I'm sure I've met you before, Grilliam.
It is a pleasure to meet you.
Granny, it's lovely to see you again.
It's
She
so
kind of-
lovely to see you.
She had just sat down, but she stands
have
back
you
up
met-
and slowly hobbles over to you. It'll give you like a little like shoulder hug.
Aww.
Have you heard from Bartholomew lately?
Oh, it's been so long since I heard from him, but that's just how it is with Bartholomew, you know? You don't hear from him for years, and suddenly it's all flowers and hellos.
Well, speaking of Bartholomew, I think...
As you say that, Mort bursts back into the room. I got the tea and biscuits. Hey, what kind of tea would you all like? I made several pots, and he's got like in his arms like a couple of pots, and you can see it's like burning his skin a little bit, and he's just like did not want that conversation to continue. He clearly just grabbed these off the stove and ran in. It's like, let me put these there on the table. Oh, and he kind of puts them down on the table. She's like badly burned. Ooh, yeah, well, what kind of tea would you each like?
Badly burnt, you said? Can I cast a spell on Mortimer to be nice?
Oh, if you'd like, yeah. What would you like?
I'll cast Ice Storm to cool him down. No, just kidding.
Oh, jeez. Oh, you read that cast a healing word. Cure wounds. He's like, and he stops and just looks at his like arm and looks at you. The fuck did you do?
I healed your arm. You were burning yourself over the tea. What? You thought my touch could just burn everything? You could do more than that.
Why did you heal me?
Because
I'm a nice person.
And Grandarf goes, "What's going on? I can't quite hear over there." Oh, nothing. Don't worry about it. I'm just seeing what everyone wants for tea. Yeah, and he kind of like he pours each of you some tea and hands it to you. The tea is like there's like bits of loose tea leaf in it. It's just not well-made tea. And he goes to like sit down on like a little stool kind of next to Grandarf. He's got a little teacup. And he like looks at it and brings it up to his lips and makes a horrible face. And then he reaches into his pocket and takes out a flask and pours something into the tea and puts it back in his pocket. So sips his tea. I love tea. So
Herald pretends to drink his tea not because of how bad it is, but because like Warforged don't need to eat or drink, right?
They don't
My
need
understanding.
to. I think you can if you'd like. That's up to you though.
Yeah, you don't need to, but you can.
Herald prefers not to.
Mm.
But
Well, actually,
he pretends to drink just out of politeness.
Yeah, and Herald, I think if like Herald actually can't drink, I think that's cool too. That's I think that's like up to each individual. Like whenever you create a Warforged, whether yours can do those kind of things. So Herald just like it just like spilled down Herald's face and like everything just.
Oh no, he just pretends to sip, but nothing actually. Like,
Well, for
Gotcha.
Grilliam absolutely loves the tea because it has just the right amount of spices in it. Because, man, his palate is a lot different from other people.
Mort's totally overdoing it was like good for Grilliam. I love it.
Yes,
Right?
one
Can't
thing,
take
Grilliam,
the nice
bonus points for Mortimer for tea. But speaking of Mortimer, Grilliam's gonna look at him and be like, "So, I see you don't want me to talk about him." And I don't say his name for a good reason.
I don't know what you guys are all talking about. Anyway, what can we welcome your visit for?
We're here
Can-
to
Well,
rescue.
we're here to visit with Grandarf, of course. I mean, it's
Oh,
always
well,
nice
then-
to visit with an old friend.
No, of course, it's absolutely lovely. I'm very happy. You know, Grandarf and I, we go way back. We're very good friends. And Grandarf's like, well, actually, we met like a couple years ago, or like what was that, months ago? Time is so strange now. Yeah, we go way back though.
Herald, not catching any social cues, just goes out and says,
Uh-huh.
"Believe your old friend Bartholomew wants to see you." Once again,
Mort
not
just
catching
kinda-
any social cues of people avoiding his name.
Mort's mouth kind of hangs open, and he kind of looks like, well, he can come visit.
Whoa, well, I saw Bartholomew the other day. I think he said he wanted to meet with Grandarf at some point, if I ever saw her.
Yeah, Kind of goes, oh, that would be lovely. I'd love to talk to Martha. And Mort just kind of interjects. Well, actually, I'm sorry, Grandarf, I wasn't telling you because it was going to be a big surprise. But we were planning a trip to the mountains. We're going to go skiing. Oh, I haven't gone skiing ever. Yeah, I think it'd be a cool, great experience.
Ooh, I think I remember Bartholomew saying he likes to ski too.
Oh, but it's terribly out of season.
I don't know. I mean, the mountain is so cold lately.
I'm just gonna look at Mortimer with a very suspicious gaze, and I'm just gonna look at him.
Graham, where's your horse? Where's the nightmare?
The nightmare is outside the house, like right by the front door, just waiting there.
One thing the nightmare can do actually is they can they can teleport themselves into the ethereal plane at will. So they can actually just be like with you in the ethereal plane if you want.
Yeah, true. That is true. But my
Or they can just be hanging outside.
My issue is I want them to hang outside because if they appear out of the ethereal plane in Grandarf's house is going to be a wreck.
It's gonna burn down. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I don't want to burn down Grandarf's lovely home.
Sword, you've been pretty quiet. What have you been doing as all this conversation's been going on? And you see Mort, like sworn enemy of the world, Mort. One of these Morts are just here in Grandarf's house and seems to have tricked Grandarf or something.
I lean over capriciously and just like whisper in his ears like, it's the baked goods, isn't it?
Yeah. And it's kind of an awkward moment, Sword, as you lean over toward Mort and say this, and then you hear a ding sound from the kitchen, and Grandarf goes, "Oh, that must be the biscuits, Mortimer. Could you go get those for us?" Yeah. right away. None of you say literally anything while I'm gone. It'd be very rude to have a conversation without me. And he quickly like sprints back of the house.
I have a question.
Wait, quick. I also have a question.
Okay, let's go with Purple. You first, and then we'll answer Max's.
Was the goal to find Grandarf or retrieve Grandarf?
I think the goal was to make sure Grandarf's okay. It was to check in on Grandarf. And you are all aware, and I'm just going to tell you this now, you're all aware that Mort and the Morts are definitely bad guys. They're one of the great evils that have kind of taken over the lands of DnDTime as a whole.
Harold's getting visibly antsy because Herald doesn't understand why we haven't just shanked the Mort yet.
Like, why didn't we kill Mort? Yeah, because Harold doesn't
want to go first.
Doesn't understand the social niceties. Like, well, Grandarf likes this guy, so we can't just kill him.
Yeah, Grandarf, if you'll excuse me, I'm gonna go help Mortimer in the kitchen. Why don't you stay here and entertain the others?
Granny, do you mind if I come with? But I just need to check one thing. Jeremy, I have a question for you.
Sure.
Is there any way I can tell if Grandarf is magically charmed in any way?
That's a really good question. If you'd like, what I think you could do is like just talking with Grandarf for a little bit. I'd let you roll like an insight check, and maybe that could, especially like seeing Grandarf interact with Mort. I'd let you roll an insight check and see if you could figure that out. So you've been doing that, so you can go ahead and roll me an insight check. I think that's a really good question.
Okay, I will do that right now.
Yeah, everyone, if you'd like, can do so. That's fine. You've all been hanging out and observing. Oh my. So what's interesting here is I think you all get the idea that you don't think Grandarf's charmed necessarily. Like, I think the biggest hint was Grandarf pinched Mort's cheek, like, and hurt Mort. And if you're charmed by someone, you cannot harm them. You cannot intentionally hurt them in any way. And so I think you've all realized that Grandarf is not charmed by Mort. And I think the critical success here from Herald is like, not only like you understand that Grandarf's not charmed by Mort, but I think, Herald, you've noticed Mort's been like looking down at their wrist where they have one of the cool trigger. It's a cool trigonome contraption, which is like a sundial, but it's on your wrist, so you can tell the time. You see, he keeps kind of looking down at it, and you can see that he's like rolling his eyes, and he's been getting like very irritated at the circumstance, like he's waiting for something. And I think you noticed that in particular. But Granny, you and Grilliam excuse yourselves to help Mort in the kitchen, which Grandarf's home is this living room, a tiny hallway, about 5 feet to your left is the kitchen, just like right, you know, within arm's reach basically of the living room, and then to the right is probably her bedroom and a door to the backyard.
I whisper Herald whispers what he noticed to Sword, because they're the only person who's still kind of here in the living room.
However, I'm gonna whisper to Granny. I'm assuming you're planning to make some persuasive arguments with Mort, aren't you?
I'm prepared to do something.
As you walk into the kitchen, you see that the oven is open, smoke is billowing out of it. Mort has like oven mitts on. He's like, ow, 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 ow. He's like trying to like get actually he's not wearing the oven mitts. He's like using the oven mitts. He's like holding them and trying to like squeeze the pan of biscuits with them and pick it up. And he just keeps burning himself. I can't wait till my shift's out of here. As you're all coming in, he stops and looks at you, and there's just blackened biscuits on this tray.
Ah, yes, blackened biscuits, just what I'd like. But I'm not here for the biscuits. I want to talk to you, Mort.
Look, I think there's a big misunderstanding. You must be thinking of a different Mort.
Oh, don't worry. I know about you and all of them, actually.
I think it's a bit generalizing, but go ahead.
Well,
I'm a little insight on Mort.
Uh-huh.
But I'm going to basically I'm going to use some quote-unquote persuasion, and I'm going to cast thaumaturgy to make my eyes glow in a kind of mean manner. And I'm like, I know I'm being generous right now, and that I'm going to help you be nice and friendly with Grandarf. But I know for a fact that you are among an evil in this world. So please enlighten me. You're going to tell me what you're up to, and that's actually the intimidation check.
Yeah, okay, so go ahead and roll me intimidation check. Granny, you're noticing as like Grilliam is like looking at Mort and his eyes are starting to glow and he's like, oh, right. Mort's like glancing down at his like little wristwatch and he's just like tapping his he's clearly waiting for something and he's not super happy. Is also very intimidated. But meanwhile, while that's happening there in the other room, Herald and Sword, are you two doing anything? Are you talking to Grandarf at all? Also, there are tons of cats here. I'm sorry. There were 5 cats originally. Now there's probably like 7 or 8 cats. As Grandarf seems to keep a lot of cats. They're like just kind of climbing all over the place. There's probably 2 that are piled up in Grandarf's lap on her rocking chair. If you'll allow them, they will snuggle up with all of you very much. But are you two...
has been allowing them this whole time.
Excellent. So Herald, if one of them goes to like start scratching post your leg, do you do anything and just kind of watch?
Herald gently removes them from the leg.
No. Excellent.
And I'm just like petting the Garfield one and laugh.
Oh yeah, this is a chunky cat. You can see that this cat has like positioned itself in such a way that it's like lying across your knee, but its head is like stretching out toward your teacup on the table, and it's trying to like lick the tea out of your teacup, but it's just a little too far, so it's just just like licking the air, trying to get at the teacup. And every once in a while, it'll look up at you, like giving you a look like push the teacup closer to my mouth. Is the look it's giving you.
Come on, buddy, you can do it.
Herald, someone who seems to be lacking emotion actually makes a deep, guttural sound that sounds like wood creaking that could be interpreted as laughter.
I love that's the phrase you only get in Dungeons and Dragons. You make this laugh, and Grandarf's like, well, so what's brought you all here? It couldn't surely be Bartholomew. He would have just come to visit me myself.
Oh, he just asked us to come by and check on you since we were in the area. He does you.
I've been perfectly fine. It's incredible, really. You know, people stopped showing up and it got a little difficult. But, you know, Mortimer started coming by and, oh my goodness, he's so helpful. He mows the lawn, he cleans the gutters. Anything I put him to, he gets it done. It's incredible that just one man can do all that work. It's really quite impressive.
Are you unaware of the state of the world outside?
I don't leave my house very often. It's hard for me to walk around. She's kind of gesturing to her cane or holding up her cane a little bit. And I mean, I look outside and I see so far away my beautiful picket fence.
Oh my god, her vision must be low.
Do you mean that the rain?
No, I mean, have you looked outside? I mean, you said Mortimer was your neighbor, but there's not a house that's not dilapidated for miles.
Oh my goodness, poor Mortimer! I've been leaving him out in the rain. As Grandarf does not make the connection you're trying to make here. Back in the kitchen, Mort goes, all right, look, I'm just trying to help out a kind old lady. I don't know what you want from me, but if I were you, I wouldn't touch me.
Ooh, wait, let me see if I have an idea.
Grandarf kind of likes me. So
Well,
how about
I know that, and
you
I'm going
get out of my way?
Fine.
He says, holding the tray of biscuits.
For now.
Wait, look at it.
Granny's gonna cast Flush the Stone on Mortimer. I don't have to cast you to stop you.
Oh my god! Alright, you cast a spell on Mort. What's the saving throw?
The saving throw is 18, and he has to roll Constitution.
Oh damn,
So,
you're faster than me. I was about to cast Detect Thoughts.
I love that the components here are pinch of lime, water, and earth. So imagine you just pull out of your bag like a lime slice, and Mort looks like, what the hell is that? And he just kind of looks down. What are you? What?
I think they make lime as limestone, but
What are you doing to me? Oh, and I think.
No, it's consecutive. So
Oh.
it's until he gets 3 successes or 3 fails.
Yeah, and he's like, this is weird. Why am I so stiff? I need to sleep better. Oh my. And it's just like he's just a statue now, holding a tray of biscuits, like he's like craning his back a little bit.
I
And
can't.
frozen solid, petrified in the kitchen.
Grilliam casually takes the biscuits from the.
Concentration for the rest of the duration.
Are the biscuits
Yeah, and then
actually
he's
any
still
good, or are they all
really-
blackened and ruined?
Oh yeah, they're burnt. They're burnt to hell.
Okay, I'm gonna actually do a proper job and cook them right.
Okay, so you start cooking some real biscuits. Okay.
You're fixing the biscuits.
Yeah,
course.
as you're all in that back room, you hear the back door open, and you hear a voice. Hey, Mort. All right, it's my shift. Get that. Oh shit! And you see like a second Mort looking just down the hallway at the now petrified Mort and Granny and Grilliam. Except Grilliam, he doesn't see you because you're in the kitchen cooking biscuits, and he just kind of like rushes into the living room. And you see sweating profusely as he enters, Herald and Sword. He's like, hey, Granny, I think we need to have a conversation. Oh, what's the problem, Mortimer? Who are these guests? I totally forgot that we had guests. Oh, they're good friends of my friend Bartholomew. I'm not sure about that. I think they're imposters. And Herald and
Good,
Sword,
right?
you're right
Granny's
there, and
gonna-
Granny, you're also right there.
Yeah, Granny's gonna have some of her Stitch minions sort of carry the Mort
Oh, Mort
into
away!
out of the kitchen and say,
Where are they hauling him? Just into the backyard?
into the living room
Oh,
and say, Grandarf, I have a gift for you. It's a statue of Mortimer.
well, as your minions are doing that, Herald, you and Sword have a moment like where it's just profusely sweating Mort, Grandarf, who's confused and aloof, and you two in the living room as Granny, you start commanding your servants in the kitchen. And Grilliam, can you roll me a cooking check? Whatever that is, you can decide what that is.
Maybe I can.
I actually don't know
Maybe I
what
can
would be a
cast
good
Detect
check for
Thoughts on this one because I want to know why they're here and what they're doing.
Oh,
In fact,
you're
I'm
gonna
not
cast Detect Thoughts on the Mort?
Yes.
Okay.
Fun fact,
I wanna know
I'm not proficient in
what the
culinary
frick
tools,
they're
so
up
I
to.
don't know what the check would be.
Just roll me an
It's whatever you
intelligence
want
check,
it to be.
Grilliam.
I would go with wisdom.
Or yeah, wisdom works too. Yeah, wisdom's actually probably better than intelligence.
Oh, good. I was gonna say, intelligence is my dump stat. No.
All right, so Herald, as Grilliam, you're also burning the biscuits, but not as bad. I think you're cooking them as appropriate for a fire campsite, which is just way too much for people. But you're gonna love them. Herald, you're detecting thoughts, and is this going through your staff, or is this what does this look like as you cast a spell?
The eye on the staff glows a little bit, but like he's doing like the verbal and somatic, but it's like kind of whispered so Granny doesn't like get too alert. I'm not Granny.
Yeah, Grandarf seems pretty easy to to do something subtly in front of, and she doesn't notice. I love it. So the eye glows, and I imagine like the tip of the eye stalk on the staff almost like looks around a little bit and then peers directly toward Mort. So his surface thoughts are, oh shit, what's going on here? He's just terrified. and then he's got to roll what a saving throw, and you get to know more.
Yeah.
Okay. What is your wisdom save? What's your DC?
Probe deeper. 18.
Okay. All right. He's thinking, "Oh crap, they're on to us. We're gonna pack up shop and get out."
Reasoning, emotional state, something that looms large on its mind.
Yeah. So he's got this kind of feeling of terror is the emotional state. And there's like anxiety in there. He's afraid. So the big thing is he's thinking of, oh crap, they're on to us. We got to pack up shop and get out of here. To hell with the wizard. If Bartholomew's adventure is here, we have to leave. Is what he's like going through his head.
Meanwhile, Grilliam enters with his fire ganassi biscuits.
Well, I think it's just you enter with the biscuits, step to the side, and then Grandarf's, Granny's dolls holding up the stone statue kind of, I imagine they must waddle in, and as they do, the cats all like kind of almost like all look at once toward the dolls and but Grandarf goes, "Oh, what's that? You got a big rock from out back? Why?"
It's a statue of
Oh, you made a
Mortimer.
statue?
Yes.
Oh, my dear Mortimer.
You want me to put it in the garden?
Oh, please.
Oh my god.
Why is he holding a tray of biscuits?
He, yeah, those are...
That's how he posed.
Oh. Mortimer, you didn't tell me you posed for a statue. No, you didn't do that. You know, I'm gonna help you move that into the back if you don't mind.
So, do I get any inkling of what their plan was with the distracting or whatever they're doing with Grandarf from Detect Thoughts?
Yeah, with Detect Thoughts, I think you can, I think what happens here, right? Like, as he says, I'm gonna help bring it out of the back. Grandarf says, if you don't mind, if you could look for my bug zapper while you're out there. I've been missing for so long. All the terrible buggies out on the porch at night. And in Mort's mind, it's just, oh, okay. I hope she doesn't find out we stole the bug zapper.
That was all they were here.
Did he say that aloud?
He's thinking it. He's thinking this. So only
He's yeah, normal.
Yeah.
So
and I don't think it's, I don't hope he doesn't find out that they stole the bug zapper. I think it's like more of, it's only a matter of time before they catch on. We're stealing Grandarf's magical items. I think that's what kind of comes out through that Detect Thoughts.
Granny's gonna
Morton knows I'm peering into his thoughts, by the way. That's how Detect Thoughts works.
Mm-hmm.
Meanwhile, Granny's commanding her stitch servants to carry the statue into the garden.
Yeah, and Mort kind of like shifts over the door. I'm gonna help get the statue in the garden. You all just hang out with Grandarf. It's gonna be He walks out. He walks out into the hallway and starts walking toward the door.
Yeah. So Herald stops concentrating on that spell.
Well, at this point, I'd like you all to roll for initiative, not because there's combat, but because I want to figure out an order of operations. Mort has kind of started the initiative by leaving the room, and I imagine some of you might want to pursue him, but you also might want to just talk to Grandarf. I don't know. I don't want to make any presumptions. All right, so let me roll for Mort. Mort got a 14, rolled pretty good. So Granny, you're the first to go. What would you like to do?
Granny's gonna go with Mort to the garden. More because that's where her stitched servants are going. So with the statue, and she wants to make sure she puts it in a good spot.
Oh, okay. Granny's like just actually invested in this statue. Excellent. So you and your stitch servants are in the backyard. You can see that the backyard has like a bunch of plants and shrubs, like a nice little garden. A very little garden. I mean, Grandarf's had some huge gardens in the past, but you also see there's a gigantic, like an immense shed that just was not there before. just a very, very large shed. It's got a big padlock on the front of it. And that's what you see at the end of that turn, Granny, as you carry the statue outside. Do you want to try and place it anywhere? Just in the garden, maybe?
Yeah, I mean, like, is there, like, anywhere in the garden where, like, it would be more or less ideal?
I mean, I think you can absolutely... You have a grandmother's wisdom, Granny, so I think you're able to find, like, the perfect spot for such a statue.
Alright.
Grilliam, what would you like?
Well...
Can I ask a question?
Yes.
How do tied initiatives work in the lands of DnDTime?
It doesn't matter. You guys can just choose which one wants to go first. Does anyone have someone they specifically want to do?
Well, I have something I want to do.
I just wanted, before everyone leaves and heads outside, I wanted to tell them what the Morts are up to.
Oh, so Grilliam, as you like go to act, Herald kind of interjects with this revelation. Herald, what do you do?
I just say, it appears the Morts have been stealing Grandarf's special items of the magical variety.
I should see. But
Grandarf looks shocked. My Mortimer? He'd never.
Hey, I was gonna ask Grandarf if you'd like, I want to distract Grandarf from what could possibly be chaos, and ask Grandarf if she would like to meet a flaming horse.
That's a little strange. A flaming horse? Why would you set a horse on fire? That sounds incredibly cruel.
It's no, Grandarf. It's from another plane of existence.
Oh, which one?
The ethereal plane, I believe.
So here's the question: does Grilliam actually just have no idea how this works, or?
Yeah, Grilliam doesn't know where Negas come from, but
roll me a deception check then.
Well, I mean, considering it's called a nightmare, wouldn't it come from the plane of dreams?
It comes from, well, in DnDTime, it comes from the plane of dreams. It can also come from hell. Is another place it can come from.
Yeah, that's the other one I was thinking of.
It comes from a couple different places here. Yeah, you say this, and Grandarf was, I mean, I guess, is there a flaming horse here? And there's like this.
It's outside my front door. Outside the front door.
So, Grilliam, you spend your turn to distract Grandarf. Herald, you can still act if you'd like. Now that you've made this proclamation, Grandarf is now confused and like, I thought, why are you accusing poor Mortimer and now horses?
See, I'm trying to think of a plan that would keep all further Mortimers from coming here, because killing this one wouldn't really mean much.
Mm-hmm. We've already
killing this one would be a great start.
You've already seen one of them has been petrified, and there was a second one. So clearly there's at least two here already. But one of them's been turned to stone, so.
Yes.
So Herald, are you also kind of heading outside, or are you staying here and distracting Grandarf with Grilliam?
No, Herald's heading outside. Herald's an attacker, not a talker.
Okay, so you go to head outside, and you see like Mort is outside, Granny is outside, and Granny is positioning the other statue, and you see Mort is like making a beeline for this huge shed.
At that point, could I wait? Do I have another action?
Yeah, I think you have your action if you'd like to take it.
I would use my, what is it called? I would use my legs of the blade walkers and giant wooden spider leg-esque things sprout from my back.
Excellent. You kind of rise up into the air, held aloft by these massive spines. And is that an action to transform?
Yeah, I believe it is.
Mort looks
and
over.
Herald just says,
my God!
Herald just says, not so fast.
Yeah, I'm gonna go even faster now, thank you. It's Mort's turn. Mort runs toward the door and starts slamming on the door of the shed. And I think in the living room you hear like the echo, the distant echoing of him slamming. And he's like, we're out of time. Light it up, guys. We gotta get out of here. As he's just yelling this out loud and fumbling for keys to try and get into the door. He drops his keys. Have they just been
storing a bunch of Morts in her shed?
So that's what Mort does. And inside, I think you all hear like inside the the shed, you hear like a sound like an engine starting. Sword, what would you like to do? As you hear this distant engine starting, Grandarf is all confused.
Hey, that's my move. You hear Mort
yelling.
No, that was an accident. That was an accident.
Oh, okay. Because that's what I was gonna cast.
Would you excuse me, Grandarf? I've got to go to the privy. Tea room through me.
Oh, of course. It's the first door on the right. Don't go to the second door. That's my room.
All right, thank you.
That's where she puts all of her magical
I walk outside the back door where the shed is.
Yeah, you see Mort slamming on the door, be like, guys, let me in. There's a monster out here.
What's the rush?
I mean, yeah, you could call Herald that. You're not wrong.
That's not a nice thing to say about Granny Serialmassacre.
They might end up casting Guess.
Oh God. Okay. What are you trying to do to this Mort?
Mostly just trying to.
It takes a minute to cast.
I think we can say that like you've been casting it right throughout the conversation you've been having with this Mort. I'm fine with it. I think it actually is okay in this instance.
Right.
But I appreciate you I appreciate you pointing it out.
That slipped my mind too.
Oh, good. What's your command?
My command is why don't you hand over those keys and tell me all about these magic trinkets you've been pilfering from old poor Granny here.
Oh, he rolls an 11, and he's charmed by you. Oh boy. So I think he knows he's under the effect of the spell and that it will hurt him. And he goes, look, I don't mean to cause any trouble. We're just, she wasn't using them. Just some stuff. We've been taking them and making stuff. I don't know what you want from me. Guys, please, a little help. He's yelling kind of over his shoulder. But yeah, he's like, he kind of kicks the keys toward you and kind of steps away. How about I just leave? Huh? Is that all right?
I wonder if you tell me what you were making.
Oh, I can't do that. And as he kind of groans and makes that horrible sound, you see his eyes kind of roll back a little. Can you roll me the 5d10 psychic damage he takes? From your guess, or gesh, I think it's pronounced. Oh my God. So you see him go, I can't tell you that. Sorry. But as he does, he just kind of twitches, his eyes kind of roll back, and he just collapses, his blood pouring out of his ears, and you think he's dead. You still hear that rumbling from the door behind. Yeah, he's murked this poor Mort. Anything else you'd like to do, Sword? You hear rumbling from inside the giant shed.
Shall we? I can take those keys and just unlock it, can I?
No, but you pick up the keys, and you look at the shed. Granny, it's your move. There's rumbling from the shed. Would you like to do anything?
Granny would like to do something. She is going to
give me access to the shed. That's what I want.
Oh, she's gonna do something. But I just trying to check something out first.
Mm-hmm.
Before I do it, just trying to find the right thing. What size would the
shed be?
Yeah.
The shed is decidedly huge.
So if it was a creature, it'd be huge.
Yeah, and it'd be on the big side of huge.
Alright. Then Granny is going to transform. She's going to cast Polymorph.
Oh god.
And transform into a Brontosaurus. And just sit on the shed.
You just sit on the shed?
As a Brontosaurus, yes. Like, she stopped trying to stop the shed from going anyway. Because that's what she thinks is going to happen. Like, I don't know if that's actually what's going to happen, but...
Okay.
Yeah.
I love it.
That is her turn.
All right. So you have, I gave you the Brontosaurus stat block in case you'd like to use it. You all just watch that happen. Little old Granny turned into a gargantuan Brontosaurus and sits on top of the shed. Herald,
what I'm curious is what happens next.
What would you like to do?
Me?
Oh, actually,
you have a locked shed, and the keys to said shed, and a dead mort, and a statue mort.
Yep, it's your move, Herald. You could always ready an action for if something happens, or you could make a move.
I will ready. Do I have to decide what spell I ready right now? Because I'm not sure.
I think it's fine. You can just say you ready a spell. Normally you have to decide, but I'm okay. Because we're all new to these higher level characters. Like, I understand maybe needing a minute to look at stuff. So we can just say you ready a spell, and you've got your staff, you've got all your other stuff too. Excellent. So you're just holding the staff ready to roll. Grilliam, what about you?
At this point,
yeah, you hear something is going down.
No, at this point we'd be outside the front door. Me and Grandarf would be outside the front door.
You walk Grandarf outside, and you think, so why am I seeing this horse again?
I thought you'd be pretty cool for you to see a creature from another plane of existence.
I mean, I'm a very powerful wizard. I know all manner of spells and incantations. I've been to so many other planes.
I see.
I'm very old.
I understand. As I give Grandarf a very friendly pat on her head.
And I imagine Shadowblaze just appears out of the ether before you now.
Yeah, but
like, oh wow, a nightmare. Okay, that's what you meant.
Yes, indeed.
Oh my.
And then I could probably see this because I could probably see the Brontosaurus head from over Grandarf's house.
I think,
and I'm like,
right. So this is when you like turn around and you hear this, and you see it just rise up. And I imagine the Brontosaurus has like a giant purse too.
Oh God. And then I'm gonna see this giant Brontosaurus and I'm gonna be like, and then I'm gonna look at Grandarf and be like, can you excuse me for a moment? I think my friends are calling me. As I get on the horse and go around Grandarf's house.
Grandarf goes, oh, where are you going? Feel like you hop over the fence.
I'll be back, Grandarf.
Grandarf hobbled over the fence.
Misses the giant dinosaur in her back there.
She doesn't notice. It's too far away. She walks over to the picket fence. Oh, the fence. I'll have to go around. She turns around and starts walking back toward her front door. So, Grilliam, you have, I think Shadowblaze can fly as a nightmare.
Yeah,
so you
90
fly
feet.
over the roof and see this bizarre scene. And then, and I want to give you a round of applause for this. The shed begins to like buckle. And there is a like abrupt like grinding sound as the something like tries to like slam into the front of the shed. Normally, what that would do is it would the shed would just collapse forward. But there's the weight of a brontosaurus on it. So I'd like you to roll me a strength check for the brontosaurus. And I will roll a strength check for this thing that's trying to get out of the shed. And this will represent the brontosaurus plopping. I'm sorry, you can roll a constitution check instead if you'd like. I think that's also fair.
I'll roll strength.
Okay, I don't know what they are. I don't know the brontosaurus stats. That's pretty good.
Yeah, brontosaurus have a 21 strength.
Oh, I accidentally rolled it to GM, but I rolled a 15. So what happens here is there's like a slamming sound, and you hear a bunch of Mort voices. What the hell, guys? And I think you see a massive pipe crash through the door, and you see much of the door break apart, but it holds enough together to keep whatever this thing is inside the shed from getting out. And you see what looks like an improvised tank that the Morts have built. It has a huge glowing blue electrified contraption. It almost looks like a flail swinging around on the side of it. It has a big cannon that swivels around, and it just looks brutal. And apparently they were building that in Grandarf shed. So it is stuck. It can't move. It can't use its bone-crushing treads that turn, but it will. Well, actually, Herald, you can use your action if you'd like. Ready to spell.
Okay. Can I see any Morts?
I don't think you do, but you hear them inside. Probably not the tank, but the shed. Though there might be one inside the tank too. That makes sense.
I'm not sure if this is line of sight or not.
What's the spell? Finger of Death. Yeah, so you could target the tank with it. The tank has stats, right? It is technically a creature.
Yeah, you have to see it. You have to see what you're targeting.
Yeah, you would need to. Yeah.
Yeah, it says it as the target is the creature that you can't see. So, you have to see it.
Sure, I'll do necrotic damage to the tank if that even counts.
Yeah, absolutely. You blast the tank with a Finger of Death. And I imagine from Herald, this is shooting out of the eye at the end of your staff. Just.
Yes.
Excellent. So what's the save I need to make? It's Constitution. I'm pretty good at Constitution, but still fails. And takes 62 points of necrotic damage. See, this is where things get wild at this level. Yeah, you nail.
If the tank dies, can I have a tank zombie? Because that's what the spell.
Normally, the answer is maybe, but in this case, it does not die.
So it says humanoid anyway, so it wouldn't work anyways. Oh. I was joking.
That's true. Well, the more inside the tank you might get. I love the idea of a tank zombie now. Excellent. So that's the tank does that. The tank is, in that case, going to swivel around. It can't really hit anyone with its moves, so it's going to aim its cannon, which at first you thought was like a pipe, but you can see it's a pipe, but kind of tied to the top of the pipe is what looks like a shotgun, and it's going to aim probably at. Oh, it's going to aim at both sword and heralds. It's an area of effectability. Oh, wait. Who else is in the back? No, Granny, you're... See, I know, Granny, you'd be within this too. I need all of you to roll me a dexterity saving throw. As it uses Grandarf's shotgun.
All right.
And this is going to be against basically everyone in the backyard. That was the health.
Yeah, it never generated health.
Yeah, it's silly like that. Well, that's a lot of health.
Yeah.
All right.
Really, I'm out of this, right? Because I'm over Grandarf's roof.
That is true. You're above the area of effect currently, Grilliam.
Good.
Ooh, sword with the lucky feat. Go ahead and re-roll it. No dice, unfortunately. So that's going to be for everybody, unfortunately. 54 points of damage, 26 bludgeoning and 28 thunder as the shotgun fires. And that's Mort's. Yeah, that's what Mort does because he can't use the other one. All right. And then there are 2 more morts inside the shed, clearly. They're trying to get out, but just can't get out yet because the door.
Wait. How do you have a feat? I thought feats weren't allowed in the lands of D&D.
Feats are allowed after level 10. So technically, if you want to revise any of your level up stuff, feel free in your off time. But once you're past level 10, you can use feats.
Nice.
Yep, it's funky. Sword, it's your move. What would you like to do?
I can see that shotgun being a problem, so
Front row raggy.
let's make this make it harder for them to see us.
Oh, and where are you casting that on? The tank?
Yeah, the tank.
Very, very interesting. Okay.
And
I really
then,
like that.
And then I'm going to use my bonus. And it's like, would the shadows be emitting past the
Your pick. You can have them be just totally in the shed, and the darkness is just in the shed. You can have it outside of the shed a little bit. Your pick.
Oh,
You do realize you just made it harder for all of the spellcasters, right?
Well, I mean, if you have part of the tank visible.
I want to attack the morts, though.
Well, no one can see the morts right now anyway. I'm sorry. So where would you like to?
AoEs are an option. I'm going to use my AoEs are an option. Anyway, I'm going to use my bonus action and merge with the shadows from my Zavals.
Oh my God! You have heavials. Oh my goodness! Sword, how long have you had this?
For, I think, about a year.
All right, that's horrifying.
And you've never used it until now?
I've had it on Lana for
I had forgotten that you had the darkness
ever.
and heal. All right, so you just see Sword just walk into this black void and just kind of dissipate like death itself. Where would you like to? So, okay, you have a speed of 100 feet, you're untargetable, and you can step out of the shadows as a bonus action. So basically right now, you are the darkness. Oh my God. All right.
I'm going to position myself behind one of the other morts.
Yes, you can see both of the other morts. They are freaking out. They have what look like batons strapped to their waists, and they have what look like weird crossbows with what do you call them? Clips attached to them. They look like semi-automatic crossbows, and they are trying to just get out. They're freaking out, and you can see they have a little workshop in here where they've been building stuff out of Grandarf's magic items. All right.
My action, my bonus. So.
Yep. So you see them. They are in the shed trying to find a way out. Granny, it's your move. You're currently a Brontosaurus, and you're sitting on top of the shed. What would you like to do?
Let's see.
It takes no action to continue sitting on the shed. If you wanted to try and like crush the shed, that'd be a different story.
You know what? I'm gonna go ahead and I am going to try and crush the shed.
Oh my God. So how are you doing this? Are you just sitting down on your Brontosaurus ass just on top of the shed? Or are you flopping on your side, or what is this?
Granny's gonna. What she's gonna do is she's gonna get up and then just slam her entire body down on.
Just gonna jump and just body slam. Excellent. The dinosaur hip check or shoulder check is what we're gonna call that. Excellent. So you weigh between 36,000 and 49,000 pounds. The shed is obliterated. As Brontosaurus slams down. I would like you to do something though. I'd like you to roll me. Roll me. Actually, I'm going to use improvised damage here. because I think that's how we're gonna have to look at this.
I mean, Brontosaurus have a stomp attack.
Oh, you know what? I think that would be perfectly fine. If you wanted to just roll your stomp attack and we can say that's going to be against the shed and everyone inside it, I'm okay with that. That's probably a much easier way to handle
it. All my spells require me to have line of sight, or the creatures I summon to have line of sight to use their abilities. Gosh,
you're about to have line of sight, I guarantee.
No, wait, isn't that shed in the tank in darkness, though?
Well... Let me roll something for the morts inside. The morts inside. Oh my god. All right, one of them takes the hit square on from the stomp. Is still alive, but is pinned under it. The other one manages to duck out of the way, and he kind of duck and roll.
It's a strength or not a dexterity.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Well, it's still only one difference. The morts have a +3 instead of a +4, so it's a 7 and an 18. So the 18 will still do it. And the second mort kind of ducks and rolls out of the shed, and he's just kind of like on the edge of the darkness. You can now see him, Herald, just like, oh god, and he's got his crossbow like looking up in terror at the Brontosaurus. And Sword, you also see him, but he doesn't see you. The tank mort takes 28 points of bludgeoning damage because it's just there. Oh, right. So you obliterate the shed. There's this huge crash. You hear from in the front yard, "What's going on out there?" Grandarf calls out. And Herald, it's now your turn. You see one of the morts is like freaking out. And there's a tank, and then there's darkness.
Okay, so I remember Grandarf saying a specific phrase, something about bug, correct?
She did say something about bugs.
Did you say there might be some wasps in the area?
You know, she did say there were a lot of bugs in the area since they took her bug zapper.
So, would this spell work?
It absolutely would. So you're going to conjure a giant wasp.
5 giant wasps.
Oh, you get 5 of them?
I can get one giant scorpion, 10 giant centipedes, 3 giant spiders, or... Well, I don't get all of those, or...
yeah, you get one of the...
5 giant wasps.
All right, Purple. So Herald holds up this staff, and I imagine there's like a little wasp's nest that's built up in the ground now near the little porch in the backyard near the by the garden, and you see like kind of crawling out of them these little insects, and their eyes, I imagine, are the first things to like bulge out and grow as they just turn into these massive, like man-sized wasps.
Yeah, I'm also thinking they might look all twisted because of his deity's influence on his spells.
Oh yeah, absolutely. They have like spines jutting out of them. And what's your other ability that's not the spine? Oh, I guess you have the spines of the Blade Walker right now. So they have like these spikes kind of jutting out of them, these big spear-like legs.
Yeah.
Excellent.
And I'm not sure if I get to command them on the same turn.
They normally roll their own initiative. I'll just have them go directly after you.
Well, no, the spell says they act on your turn.
Oh, even better. Yeah. Phew, you're right.
Yeah, each creature obeys your verbal commands, and they act on your turn each round.
What would you like them to do?
Yeah. So it says you resolve their actions and movement. Apparently, it specifically says the GM does that.
Oh, good. What would you like? Oh, I'm sorry.
I'll have all 5 of these wasps go towards the one that just came out of the shed because it's the only one I could see. They don't have dark vision, so they would be useless in the darkness as well.
So they just fly directly at this mort who looks over. Oh god!
Yeah. And they'll probably use their sting attack. Yeah.
Yeah, these
I assume they have a sting attack.
Oh, they absolutely do. Descend upon him. What's his armor class? Okay. 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, so it looks like 3 of them will hit, as this mort is not wearing any armor or anything. He's just wearing his white tank top. So yeah, you'll hit him with 3 of those. He's going to take 11, 16, 25, 29. Oh my god. 38 points of damage. A bunch of that's poison. And oh, and he doesn't die. He's just paralyzed by the poison. As your wasp just fall at him, he's just just screaming and flailing. His semi-auto crossbow like fires into the air as he just gets pulled by these gargantuan bugs. What was that?
I accidentally put the spell in chat again. I didn't.
Oh, don't worry about it. So he's technically still alive, but he's paralyzed, eyes open on the ground.
Yeah, and Herald just kind of has his position like, rise, my minions, rise.
Rise, yeah. Do you have them like lift him up into the air and like carry him toward you or something?
Possibly, yeah.
Okay, so you recover the Mort and being carried by this gargantuan flying bug. Boy, that's a nightmare right there. Grilliam, what would you like to do? Wait, are we?
No, Grilliam has the nightmare.
Yeah, it's my turn. I'm torn between completely obliterating them with the 7th level spell or use Divine Intervention right now. I am been torn on that decision.
Well, you know, it looks like the Morts are being dispatched quite handily. Actually, I think the only thing you can see right now, because the other Mort's in the darkness, Grilliam. So all you can see is the tank. That doesn't stop you if you want to firestorm the darkness. Like, I mean, that'll probably do it.
That is a good idea, actually. I'm going to firestorm the darkness, and because I can have up to 10-foot cubes, I'm just going to make it all focused in that little shed. Just one really heat ball of fire.
They all can't be in the same spot.
I know, but up to 10.
Well, I mean, he's only used, it's fine, it doesn't matter.
Enough 10-foot cubes to cover the entire shed.
Yep. All right, so so Grilliam, from atop your horse, you I imagine you hold out your hand and raining down from the heavens this just pillar of fire, which is not good for Tank Mort, who...
no, everyone in that shed, every Mort.
Oh, I know. Let me say, it's not good for Tank Mort, and I mention only Tank Mort because the other Mort, there isn't enough of him left for it to be bad for. He'd already been beat to hell by Granny's Brontosaurus Stomp, and the fire, I think, Sword, because you are the darkness, you see this just black flame just annihilate this Mort. He's just burned to cinder. There's nothing left of it.
Does Granny have to take the damage too, considering they are on top of the shed?
I don't know. I think
Granny obliterated the shed.
Yeah, Granny obliterated the shed. I imagine it was like a fall and then kind of roll a little bit, and Granny's kind of getting back up. So no, I think Granny's okay.
Yeah. I mean, Granny did get hurt earlier by the thing.
But the Tank Mort only takes 21 points because they saved.
No, I'm sorry. Tank Mort shouldn't have even rolled. The Tank Mort can't do that right now because they were knocked prone by by the thing. So they take the full
Mort was prone, so
yeah.
Nice.
Or no save.
Oh yeah, did I take damage from the tank earlier? I completely forgot to subtract that.
No, you did. Oh yeah, you did. You did. You took their. It was I think 54 points of damage. Tank
I saved. At least I think I saved.
Half. It's half for you. So it's 26 for you.
So.
Tank Mort is gonna go. The other two Morts are dead. Tank Mort swivels around and kind of lifts itself up using the pipe with the shotgun tied to the end of it. It is going to just drive forward toward. Oh, I can't even move. Crap. It took half the speed to get up. So it doesn't leave the darkness. It just drives a little bit out of the darkness. And it's going to aim its extra strength weed killer that it's stolen from Grandarf toward. Oh goodness. Actually, it's just gonna shoot at. No, it's gonna shoot this up toward you, Grilliam. Grilliam, I need you to roll me a dexterity saving throw.
Oh no.
Oh my gosh. Terrible.
Well, it's a good thing. It's a good thing Shadowblaze is now completely immune to fire damage, and I've resisted, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah, the burning sensation of the weak.
I'll roll the dex save anyway, but I still take half of that 16.
And then it's
actually,
going to
2.
It's going to swing Grandarf's big bad bug zapper, which is a big kind of electric, almost flail device attached to it, toward you, Herald, because you're the one still out there. Oh, actually, it's going to aim at you, Granny.
Okay, I was going to say.
Yeah. 14?
14 actually misses the Brontosaurus.
Oh my god! The tank can't catch a break. All right.
And it's even funny when you think about my size.
How did it miss? The world may never know. Apparently, very nimble Brontosaurus.
Well, it just barely missed. So
yeah. Sword, it's your move.
Can I see the hatch inside from where I'm standing?
The hatch? Yeah, I think you can. I think you absolutely can, because you are the darkness right now.
On top, or
let's see. Can you get the heave-yalls out again so I can read it again? Because this thing is wild when it comes to darkness. Okay.
It says I have true sight. I just need to know if I can actually see a hatch.
Okay. Yeah, absolutely. You absolutely do on top. I was just wondering if you could actually just go through, like, travel through the thing, like through the solid tank into the cockpit, but I don't think you quite can.
No. As far as I'm aware, I am still just normal movement.
Yep. It's just you have 100 feet of it. So you are you reappearing on top of the tank at on the hatch?
Yes, I'm going to use my bonus action to reappear.
Excellent. Sword, you reappear with this like jagged blade of twisting shadow in your hands.
Is
would you like to do?
Is the hatch locked?
Probably not. Well, let me roll a check. I'm gonna roll with disadvantage though, I realized, because he was kind of in a rush. Yeah, it is. It is in fact locked. Now you can see it's makeshift. It's not like a super good hatch. It's like, you know those like little little holes in the little sticky metal thing? Yeah, it makes no sense. It looks like a door, like for like a barn door hatch, right? That's just holding the door shut that goes into the tank.
So it's like ramshackle and made of wood.
Yeah, you could probably break through it.
Well, in that case, the legendary sword Savals, forged of pure shadow by the skillsmith of Yastor.
Excellent.
I had to do that for Pete.
Absolutely. With a single swing of the blade, it breaks. The hinge just shatters off, and as the door like breaks apart under the magical attack of the sword, you see inside like a Mort. He's just dripping in sweat. He looks terrified. There's a bunch of like levers and controls in front of him, and he looks up at you. Oh shit! And he's like scrambling to grab what looks like a baton in the tank with him.
It stinks. He can't see.
Huh? Oh, he can't see you because it's dark. Oh my god, you're right. Never mind. So you cut it off. He just hears this break, and he looks backwards into the darkness and doesn't see anything. Actually, is really what happens. Oh, jeez. Anything else you'd like to do, Sword? Do you want to like hop in with him, or are you gonna just kind of wait?
And knowing he's probably going to attack, I'll step back where he can't just like blindly.
No, I realize he can't even see you. He's looking back at the smashed doorway.
He's not like right under me.
No, he's right under you, but looking upwards, he just sees the magical darkness. He just heard it shatter. I mean, he has disadvantage to attack you no matter what, because he can't see you in the darkness. So, yeah. I mean, do you want to hop in with him, Sword, or do you want to just wait up?
Yeah, I'll hop in.
Okay, you hop in with him, and he hears your feet like hit the inside of it, and he goes, "Who's there?" And you see he's like really freaking out. All right. Do you have any more action, Sword, or is that the whole game?
That's pretty much the extent I can do at the moment. But cool, yeah. I will just to freak him out. Just kind of flank my square hammer along the sides of the tank, humming the Maxwell Silver Hammer song.
Just humming to yourself. That's the worst thing when you're like afraid you're gonna die and you just hear someone humming and you're like, oh no. Granny, your move. What would you like to do? The tank has abruptly stopped moving. But you can see Grandarf is starting to she's entering the house on the other side and will probably soon be in the backyard.
Granny's gonna transform back from being a Brontosaurus to make sure she ends up on top of the tank.
Okay. Well, it's absolute darkness there from the darkness spell still.
All right.
But you could appear in the darkness if you'd like.
Yeah.
All right. Sword, Granny appears next to you. Anything else you'd like to do, Granny?
Let's see. Can I do this? No, I need thief and that. See. I'm trying to see if there's something I can click. You'd be surprised how many things require the ability to see.
I mean, if you'd like, we can come back to it. It's all good.
Yeah. I'll just prepare a spell for when I can see.
Sounds good. Readying your own Finger of Death?
Yep.
Gotcha. Excellent. Grilliam? Oh, I'm sorry, Herald. What would you like to do? You can hear Grandarf is starting to make their way back.
Can I see? Did someone come out of the tank? I thought I heard that. But
I think what you saw is you see the tank is partially pulled out of the darkness, and you see a door shatter and break and fall, be thrown out of the darkness, and you hear the sound of your friend Sword just kind of humming to themselves, and you can just hear a Mort inside the tank. I don't know what's going on. Who's there? Freaking out. The tank is not currently operational, it looks like.
And you also saw...
Oh, so I couldn't send the wasps to attack the tank?
Oh, you absolutely could.
But would it be worth it? Like you said, the tank, is it out of hit points?
It's not out of hit points, no. The Mort could... it depends on if the Mort decides to operate the tank or try and fight whoever's in the tank with it.
Alright, I'm going to send my 5 wasps to attack the tank while I try to finish off this Mort in front of me with Primal Savagery.
Oh, God.
Because I can cast instantaneous spells and concentrate spells, right? I don't know how that works.
Yeah, absolutely. Yep. No issue with concentration for instantaneous spells. So this paralyzed Mort, because he's paralyzed, you automatically crit him with your Primal Savagery. So go ahead and roll the damage for that, which has got to be outrageously high.
It didn't auto-roll.
So you need to roll 6d10 plus whatever you get for your Legs of the Blade Walker, which I think is going to be an extra 10?
1d10, I believe.
I'm pretty sure he's nothing but blood.
Oh my god, it's extra 1d6. So it's actually going to be 6d10 and 2d6 is how much damage you're going to deal with this guy.
Right.
As you are going to annihilate the Mort. your wasps fly over and they start tearing the tank apart. Right, like one of them rips Grandarf's shotgun off the front. Another one goes for the bug zapper, and like it zaps them a little bit, and the wasp like gets pissed and starts going back in. I guess Herald, it's as bloody as you'd like it to be, but you run this mort clear through. I mean, you kill them outright.
I step on him a couple times with the legs of the blade walkers, just for fun.
Just for good measure, you just spear him a couple extra times. Oh god, I love it. Excellent. So the tank is currently being disassembled by the wasps.
I'm pretty sure the mort inside can hear him now, probably.
Oh yeah, he hears the buzzing and he's just screaming. Grilliam, what would you like to do? Grandarf's making her way to the back.
Okay, I have one important question for you, Jeremy.
Yeah.
How messed up is the garden as a result of all this?
Shockingly, like, not really at all. There's a Brontosaurus footprint in the yard. And, of course, the shed's obliterated, but the shed wasn't near the garden. So, right near the house, there's really nothing super wrong. If there were I'm sorry, there's probably, like, what would be a neighbor's house in the behind Grandarf's cottage, which is destroyed. There's nothing left of it. The Brontosaurus ruined it. But they're the neighbors. They're probably abandoned anyway.
Well, I want to use divine intervention.
All right, and what's your goal?
My goal is because I don't want this, because my issue is this is going to get really messy, and I don't want Grant, and while Kossuth doesn't really care about the lives of mortals, I personally don't want Grandarf's yard or Grandarf herself to be in the way of chaos in which the rest of the world is. So I want Kossuth to completely cleanse the mort crap out, as in turn it to ash and only the mort stuff.
Yeah, go ahead and roll me that D100. I believe your target is going to be 14 or lower. Not quite. You're like, Kossuth, wouldn't this be really cool? And somewhere off in like a volcano somewhere, there's this massive fire primordial. It's like, that would be pretty cool. I don't know if I can do that one though. That's so far away.
Darn. And also, he'd probably be in the elemental plane of fire too, because he's elemental primordial. That's all I could do. I wasted. That's an action.
That's an action. But if you'd like, you could like fly down and try and head off Grandarf or anything like that.
I think I will fly off toward Grandarf and try to help her out and try to make sure she doesn't see the bloody chaos.
So you just kind of go inside and you pick up that tray of biscuits that never did anything earlier, and you're like, hey, Grandarf.
Yes.
Excellent. The mort inside the tank is horrified. He flails wildly with his baton. He rolls a 13 sword. And then he rolls another 13. So he's just flailing wildly in your direction, totally missing and unable to hit you. And now it's your turn.
And clang Maxwell's silver hammer with straight.
And with actually, you have advantage in the roll because he can't see you.
Try that again. No different.
All right.
But
go ahead and add all the juicy extras as well.
Ooh, I like some juicy extras.
and flaming blows.
So with just a this mort just is totally annihilated. It collapses in a heap inside the quickly being torn apart mort tank. As you run inside Grilliam to distract Grandarf from the bloody slaughter of her good friend Mortimer, she goes, "Oh, what's going on? There was so much noise out there. Oh, biscuits."
Yes, I made them myself, though they're a little hot, so be careful.
I love biscuits. What happened to my friend? What happened to young Mortimer?
Oh no! Oh nothing. They're just using some of your tools to work in the garden.
Oh, that's lovely. These biscuits are kind of burnt.
I apologize. My cooking isn't that great, but it's how my kind like it.
She doesn't seem to quite buy it. But as this all happens and you all have completed this adventure, you have driven out the Morts that were taking advantage of poor Grandarf for her magical items. You convinced Grandarf that Mort must have just run off. What an awful lad. And to come back with you to meet Bartholomew. And
she
got a new statue in her garden.
Blade walkers, but then realizes that they're like 5 feet up off the ground and then puts them back.
Exactly. I can't get in this tiny house with these huge legs. And
Granny gave Grandarf a statue of Mortimer for her garden.
Exactly. Yeah, and everyone lived happily ever after, except for those Morts who did not, even a little bit.
I mean,
I hope the little
the one that statue
up the
is
blood
technically
from
still
that
alive.
Mortimer that Herald annihilated.
Yeah.
Like the one, yeah, the Mort statue is technically still alive.
No, not the statue.
Yeah, the other one is annihilated.
I kind
the
of
rest are
stabbed him
dead.
into a pulp. There might be some blood everywhere.
We call them
But your little
fertilizer.
Stitch minions can pick that up.
Yeah, but they're fertilizer now. I mean, Grandarf wants her shed, but I'm pretty sure we can fix that.
Yeah, and so the adventure comes to a conclusion. You've all succeeded in rescuing Grandarf from the Mort menace, and
we eventually get her back to Bartholomew.
Absolutely, and that's where we leave off for now. Thank you all for playing. It was a lovely adventure, and we'll see you all in just a minute for our next one here. Stay tuned.
All right.